everyone's work is acceptable, but perhaps if we focus more, we can achieve more. In other words, do better. I want you to all know you're doing an adequate job, and we're just hitting the mark. I have thoughts for improving our outcomes. I want you to all know that you're nailing it. Awesome job hitting the goal, and in some cases, beyond the goal. No notes. If you're neurodivergent, some words or interactions feel like a battery charge, and some feel like an alarm. Sometimes it's not just the words, but the way they are presented. When we recognize the word choice, body language, and tone, we can understand how our responses are filtered through each stimulus individually, and how we react cumulatively to what we receive emotionally as well as intellectually. Let's map the words and communication styles that help us grow, flag the ones that trigger us, and practice a repair path that actually builds trust. I'm going to use two lenses. Now, SEL helps us notice body signals, name needs, and choose skills on purpose. Restorative justice shifts us from blame to impact, needs, and repair. So when harm lands, we fix the relationship, not punish the person. If you've ever heard about finding what resonates for you, that's what we are working to understand. What exactly causes those reactions in the moment? You may have heard about connotations in an English class. It's a cornerstone of communication. Things generally fall into three categories: the things that resonate, the things you have to test, and the things that trigger you. Choosing the right words impacts how what you say and do resonate for the reader or listener. Connotations can also be affected by tone and body language. When we are thinking about connotation, things that we hear and say can fall into a positive or negative context, beyond the neutral meanings of words. These may even seem like synonyms on the surface. For instance, the words confident, slim, or thrifty can carry a positive connotation, whereas their counterparts of arrogant, skinny, or cheap can carry negative connotations. And some of these connotations are societal and generational, and therefore can change over time. But there are also connotations embedded in our psyche that can trigger a positive or a negative response. Sometimes it's just the tone and body language that can lead to positive or negative reactions. If someone is speaking to you in a soft and light and airy tone, and they seem relaxed, you may be more likely to respond positively, even if the message is somewhat negative. However, if the speaker is curt, blunt, has their arms crossed, you're more likely to feel negative, even if the message is positive. And moods can shape content and attitude. Think about the times you engaged in a conversation, but you were already feeling a certain way. Did the person you were talking to respond in kind? Now keep in mind, moods are contagious. Most of the time, the written, verbal, and physical forms of communication match up. But what if they don't? So, in order to provide clarity, you also have to think about your personal connotations that have been built over time. Depending on how you interpret any communication directed at you can either resonate in a positive way, have a neutral response, or can trigger you negatively without even realizing what caused your reaction. Now remember, you can only perceive things from your point of view. The person you're interacting with may have no intention of spiraling you. You might need a checklist. You may have to take inventory of your feelings and reactions to decide if you're taking in information under the positive category in green. These items can help you find clarity and can feel uplifting. Or maybe you aren't quite sure what you're feeling. Place those words and ideas under the yellow category for further thought. And of course, if you recognize words that make you feel small, shameful, or force you to mask, place those words into the red category, because these can trigger a negative response. Create lists of words that you know can cause an emotional response, and over time you can adjust to the impact that communication is having deep inside you. A phrase that has become a trigger for me and my wife are things like walk it off and do better. To some degree, these are based in a pattern of negative communications that have left a lingering effect with these phrases. Don't be held hostage to your feelings. If what is being communicated gives you clarity, options, or shared power, right on. That's in the green. If you aren't sure, collect more data in yellow. But if what you're hearing is connected with past negativity, makes you stiffen, forcing you to mask what you're feeling, you're in the red. So check in with your body. You feeling relaxed and open? Good. Things are in the green. Not sure how you're feeling? It's okay. We'll mark that yellow. However, are you tightening up? Chest, jaw, breath? You might even feel like you have tunnel vision. You're in the red. Ultimately, you are your own guide. Trust your gut. Trust yourself. We're not doing thesaurus cosplay. We're changing the power signal behind the words. You should have known. What info was missing? Let's make it explicit next time. Could you please be more professional? Updates and bullet points by 10 a.m. works best here. Can we try that? Just relax. Want a 2-minute pause or to switch topics? You've changed. You matter to me, and my needs change. Can we relearn each other? You're too sensitive. I want this safe for both of us. What pace works? I'm sure you've heard the expression, read the room. But are you reading it correctly? Check your own perception filter to see if you're walking into a situation already full of emotions that aren't related to the situation. You can't read someone's mind, so try not to replace what they are feeling with what you are feeling. Think about how we attribute feelings to animals when we actually have no idea what they're feeling. That means they only feel what we decide they feel. For instance, if you're already sad, everything may seem sad to you. The same can be said of feeling happy, or mad, or even scared. Is the feeling coming from you or them? Let's take a look at our resonant script for simple answers. We have observation, feeling, need, request, repairing with RJ. When we think about observation, it's like what happened at the event. When X happened at 3 p.m., such and such occurred. You're feeling, I felt overloaded or unsure at the time. Need, I need clarity, notice, or quiet to do my best work. Request, please send me updates in my bullets by 10 a.m. The repair, restorative justice, impact matters. What was it like for you? What do you need now? Let's agree on the next steps. It's all about choice versus shame. You should have told me earlier. It's common sense. I missed a cue there. Next time, can we set up a 2 p.m. check-in so we both know status? Does that work? Same goal, different nervous system impact. Green gives clarity and choice. Let's keep our boundaries intact by recognizing their existence through the trigger-aware line bank. And whether it's about the choice between two projects, A and B, not appreciating certain jokes in the matter, requesting a slower pace, needing it in writing, or asking for clarity with specifics, and if you just need a reset before moving forward and setting a later time. On our repair path through RJ, we'll use some of those restorative questions. What happened? From both views. Who was impacted and how? What do we need now to feel safe and seen? And what specific actions move us forward? For example, my words came off as they should. but impact matters. I want to repair the situation. Do you want to redo now or later? Here's my redo. Let's decide the deadline together and write it down. Let's personalize your journey. Set aside some time to make your list. It will be worth it. We'll keep it simple for now, and you can build on it. In the green, 5 words that feel like support. In the red, 5 words that shut you down. Now test one translation swap in a low-stakes convo. I hope you feel more in the positive green. You can use these tools and maybe revisit the one-page way to spot what drains you and what charges you by grabbing our Energy Leak Audit in the pinned comment. It pairs perfectly with today's green-red list and keeps your nervous system in the driver's seat. See you next time. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Love you.
I love you.
Love you.